Hey, I'd like to share a story of my experience in the last 3 days in Mexico. I went down to Tijuana on Friday night last week, and while I was driving along the Boulevard Revolucion, I felt like using the bathroom, so I went straight into in front of the Domino's Pizza, and then I asked a guy that was standing at the front of the store, can I park here because I want to use the bathroom? And he told me, yes, you can go ahead and park. So I went ahead and I parked my car. Then I went to use the bathroom. But then, by the time I came back, my car had been towed. I came back looking around for the guy. He's no longer there, but the car is gone. For a brief minute, I did not know what to do. I'm asking myself, what happened to my car? The guy just told me that it's okay to park here. I was gone for about 10-15 minutes because there were other people waiting to use the bathroom, because it took time before it got to my turn. So I had to flag down a police officer that was driving by. I told him, listen, I parked my car here to go use the toilet, but I came back, I can't find the car. I don't know what happened to the car. I think somebody took it. So he checked his system and asked me, is that a BMW? I said, yes. What color? And I told him. He said, well, it's been towed because you're not supposed to park here. I said, well, I just wanted to use the bathroom. He said, sorry, you're not allowed to park here. So he gave me the direction to the police department that is responsible for the towing. So I went off to the police station. But when I got there, the police told me that the day is already over, they are closed. I have to come back the following day. So that's what I did. That was a Saturday. When I got back on Saturday, unfortunately, they are not open. What can I do? How can I get my car? So I had to just accept the fact that I have to come back on Monday to pick up the car. So I crossed the border on foot and returned to San Diego to spend the weekend. Monday, I tried to get out of here early to get back to Tijuana, but as it is, the traffic was so heavy, I didn't get to Tijuana until almost, close to about 11 o'clock in the morning. So I then went back to the police station. They gave me a paper telling me to go to the Palacios Municipal. The Palacio Municipal is the city hall, the Mexican's version of city hall. So I went to Palacios Municipal. There again, there were lines everywhere that took probably almost about 2 hours of standing on line. Meanwhile, I have a taxi driver that was taking me around. He took me around that very first day on Friday. He also took me to the Palacios Municipal because my car is at impound. At the end of each drive around, I hand him 500 pesos, which is about $25, because the driving is approximately about 45 minutes to 1 hour going around. And at the same time, he helped me to jump in and out of the building, translating for me, showing me where to go and what to do. So even if his meter is showing 95 pesos, I still hand him 500 pesos because I think he is doing more work than he's supposed to do. Anyway, on Monday afternoon, as we finally got into the Palacio Municipal, they then told me, well, this is not the first place you come to. The police misdirected you. You're supposed to get a copy of your citation from the police right there at the police station. And then you go before a judge who will then give you a fine. You pay the fine. Once you pay the fine, you bring the receipt of the fine and the copy of the citation back to the Palacios, Municipal. And then we would then tabulate how much you owe for the towing and the many days that your car have been in the storage. So again, we returned down to the police station. It turned out that the girl who had sent us to the Palacios Municipal didn't really know how the process goes. So the guy who was there then fished out a copy of the citation, gave me the citation, and then directed me into the police station where the office of the judge's chamber is. So I waited my turn. I got there, the judge asked me, why did I park there? I said, well, I wanted to use the bathroom I'm a foreigner from San Diego. I didn't know I'm not supposed to park here. He said, okay, so he gave me a fine of $20, and I went ahead to the cashier and paid the $20. Now it's time to go back again to the Palacios Municipal. So there I went. This time I went to the Palacios Municipal, went straight to the office where we were handling the documents earlier, and they began the process of my paper. Of course, after a few minutes of waiting. All this while, the process has been very smooth, I can assure you. From the police station to the appearing before the judge, I encounter no hassle whatsoever. I mean, everything took on average less than 5 to 10 minutes to get it done. But at the last minute, the person who was trying to finalize my paper at the Palacios Municipal discovered that my registration expired, that very Monday. So he asked me, where is the new registration? Well, I renewed it. I have a copy of the receipt for the renewal because I did it online and I have not received the hard copy. But here in America, when you renew your vehicle, the receipt is proof enough that the vehicle has been renewed. He said, no, they will not accept it. My goodness. So my friend who was driving me around, the taxi driver, got really pissed off, saying there's a lot of Mexicans who did not even register their vehicle. If their vehicle is towed, they come down here. As long as they tender evidence of ownership, they get their car back. Why are they sending me back across the border? Well, there could be a reason for that. It is called the law of reciprocity. In a diplomatic world, there is something we call reciprocity. That is, when the U.S. have a policy that is introduced, for example, in the U.S. embassies overseas, if you used to pay $50 to get a visa, the U.S. increases it to $130 and then space out your appointment to 3 months interval. That means you get an appointment in 3 to 6 months. All the embassies in the United States, the foreign embassies in the U.S., will immediately introduce the same policies in their embassy against American citizens. That means any American citizens who is looking for visa will have to spend 6 months before they can have an appointment, and they have to get charged the same amount that Americans are charging foreigners in the American embassy. So the way I see that these people at the Palacio Municipal may have been utilizing the same process. There are Mexicans who drove through the border. Since San Diego is really very close to Mexico here, there's always a lot of likelihood that many Mexicans bring cars that are registered in Mexico into the United States. And if they get towed, maybe the process that the U.S. authorities put them through is the same thing they try to put me through because I'm an American. So that is understandable. It's the law of reciprocity. So I explained to him how these things work. In international diplomacy, you have to get used to that because we travel, we go through this all the time. It's not a big deal. So I had to travel, have him drop me at the border, and I crossed on foot into San Diego, took a bus and a train down to the DMV, where I got the hard copy of the renewal. I immediately rushed back again across the border into Tijuana to the Palacios Municipal. As I got there, they closed by 3, and it's already 2:50. They told me, no, we can't do this today. You have to come back tomorrow because it's already 2:50. We don't have time. I said, listen, man, you guys have been, I've been going back and forth for the last 3 days over this car. You still have enough time to do this for me. Of course, at this time, I was by myself. I didn't call the cab drivers anymore. Why? Here is my reason. All the while the cab drivers was following me everywhere, I really began to see him as a potential friend. That sometime when you are in a foreign country, you run into a problem, this is someone I could call. So each end of our visit to the Palacio Municipal, to the police station, I had him 500 pesos, as I said earlier. I have paid him like that each of the 3 times. But then I heard through another associate who was with us that he felt what I was given to him was only for him to buy gas. I have not paid for the taxi. That individual then asked him, who in this world pay a cab driver for gas different from the taxi fare? This guy have paid you. He said, no, I have not paid him. So the person immediately called me before I left San Diego, and told me, listen, this guy here is going to try to collect more money from you. So I realized with all this thing he was doing, despite my appreciation, he planned to fleece me later. So later on, as I recrossed back into Tijuana to the Palacios Municipal, I didn't call him anymore. I just picked another taxi from the border to the Palacio Municipal. Having been through the process, I knew where to go. First, I have to take the new registration card to an office where you have to translate it into Spanish. After translating into Spanish, you bring it back to the Palacios Municipal, which I immediately did. Took it there, and these people then process it for me. I eventually got the process done at about 4:30 in the evening. Again, hassle-free. People are so nice, very friendly, very cordial, very professional. Nobody asked me for anything extra. Unlike most third world countries that I go to. If it was one of these countries, let me just mention my native country, Nigeria, you would not get this car out this easy. First of all, when you first appear before the police give you a citation, you will have to bribe. You will have to pay several hands in the police station, several people in the police station before you get to where you get your citation. And when the citation is handed to you, you will have to bribe the judge, or he will postpone the fine to another day, wasting your time. When you leave the judge's place, by the time you get down to the place where they give you the official charges, you have to pay somebody. But in this situation, I didn't go through that. They went through the calculation. They calculated about 1,350 pesos. It's about $70. The total charge for the towing and the storage for 4 days, approximately $70. That is actually less than what I have paid the cab driver. The cab driver have already eaten about $80 from me over a period of 3 days. So I took this and immediately went to the impound yard. First, you go back to the police station because they only give you the paper at the Palacios Municipal. They don't allow you to pay there. You have to go back to the police station to pay. So I rushed back there, pay the police, then go to the impound yard. They have closed. But then the process have been completed. So the following day, yesterday, I came back to the impound yard. We waited for the person who is in charge of, releasing my car. So when the guy showed up, they took the paper from me, sent me to a cubicle within the impound yard. As the individual was working on my paper, I started thinking, oh, maybe the charges I paid before was not the actual charge for the tow. These people are going to charge me more money. But as it turned out, they charged nothing. They simply just ratified the paper, stamped it, handed me the paper, and tell me, that's your car, go and pick it up. In fact, it was very impressive experience. That kind of, experience, you don't have it in most third world countries. So, unlike what I've always heard about Mexico and corruption and all that, I didn't experience it. That is the car now, is here. I'm actually using it to charge my big truck here. I brought it here, safe and sound, and everything that I left in the car was there. They actually taped the door shut, they taped the hood shut, they taped the back, cabin, they tape everything shut, make sure that nobody opens it. It was very impressive, I tell you. But there is one thing I experienced there that I also wanted to share with you. While we were waiting, I was waiting to see the judge. A white male, blonde American male was bundled in by two of the police officers in handcuffs. They told him to face the wall. The Mexican police officer was so angry and shaking, telling the guy, face the wall. If you don't face the wall, then I'm going to throw you into jail. I keep wondering myself, what happened? As it turned out later, this guy made an illegal U-turn. He was with his wife. His wife was also there, but she was really calm. She was being nice. She was, slowly and quietly pleading with the police to please take it easy with her husband. While the husband was trying to put up attitude, while his hands are behind his back, handcuffed. So he made an illegal U-turn. He was stopped by a female Mexican police officer, and they demanded to see his driver's license. Rather than give his driver's license quietly, he became obnoxious and started trying to struggle with these people. Eventually, they made him to bring out his driver's license. As always, the police took the driver's license into her squad car and sit down and start checking on the license. Typically, that is what is done here. If the police stop you here, they ask for your driver's license. They take this driver's license to their squad car to check if you have an outstanding warrant, if you are wanted in that city. Somewhere, a place like Tijuana, that people driving from every corner, driving from San Isidro, from Otay Mesa, from other places into the city. It is possible that some people have a outstanding warrant in that city, and the police have a right to try to verify, to find out if this is what is happening. So in the process, this white American male, my fellow American, got upset and began to scream out obscenity. So this female police officer then called for a backup. The male police officer came in and asked the white male American, what is the problem? He said, your police officer stole my driver's license. The male police officer responded, we don't steal driver's license. We are police officers. We ask you for your driver's license just the same way as police in America ask you when you get stopped at a traffic infraction. You made an illegal U-turn, and for the police to issue you a citation, they have to see your driver's license. So that is the same thing that is done in the U.S. And in response, the white male man told the police officer, fuck you. And that ignited a struggle and anger from the Mexican police officer, who told him, you told me fuck me, this is my country. You come in here, you cannot disrespect me. And so they handcuffed him and dragged him in. They were going to throw him in jail if not for the pleading from his wife, who was very well-mannered. The police officer kept telling her, I'm taking you into consideration, but your husband is a nuisance. So what am I trying to tell you, folks? We Americans are law-abiding citizens. America is a land of laws and order. One of the privileges of being a citizen of this beautiful country is that when you go to another country, in another jurisdiction, outside the U.S., territorial integrity, you must learn to obey the law. You have to respect the constitutional authority of the land you are visiting. It is of pride to us being Americans. As Americans, we are citizens of the greatest country in the world. Why is this country great? Because the law works. The law is upheld and it is followed, and you do not violate the law and get away with it. That is part of what makes this country a great country. So when you cross the border to another country, you are not in an American territory. You must learn to understand that those people have laws and you must obey their laws. First and foremost, you must learn to respect the public official, the constitutional authority, mainly the police that supervise and maintain order, law and order on the street. Don't go telling anybody, fuck you. That is not America. It is American to be law-abiding, to respect the law, to be respectful, to show the rest of the world that we Americans are law-abiding citizens and we respect the law and we don't trample on other people's law. After all, one of the purposes of going overseas is to immerse yourself in the culture of other people. Why do you go there and try to insult them? If you do, you could really get seriously hurt. A lot of Americans do get in trouble. Many of them get killed because of this attitude. And later on, during my conversation with the police officers, he threw it on my face that you Americans have that attitude. You go everywhere thinking you can control everyone and be rude to anyone. Well, he better understand this is my country. I would have threw his ass in jail if not for his wife. See? That is a bad image to have. That guy and the likes of him make the rest of us who are proud Americans look bad. So you must learn to lead by example. Every citizen of the United States of America is a leader of the world because we are citizens of the greatest country in the world. When you get out of this country, you must learn to respect the territorial integrity of other people's land. So beware. Don't make mistakes that could get you in trouble. So that is my story. Over to you guys. You all take care.